Yeah. Yes, I want to talk about the many revelations that many have had about hell. And many of these revelations are now on social media. The masses have access to these type of testimonies, testimonies of hell. And these testimonies were experienced by people from different culture, different parts of the world. I realize that there are many criticism towards these revelations. Many have claimed that these are just people who came together and invent these type of stories to frighten people. I find that to be very ignorant because these people are from different parts of the world and these are people from different culture, okay, with people of different language. And so it is very um it's very ignorant and unethical to literally come up with the idea of thinking that these people um are familiar with each other and they have literally invented these type of testimonies to frighten people. But I believe that the people who have claimed that these things are just invention of people who want to frighten people or scare people are just people who don't want to hear the truth and they don't want to be exposed. They don't want to be told about truth and light because information about hell is information that is of light, and anything that is of light is going to bring some people into um, conviction. And when people are exposed and are put in a position that cause them to reflect and to examine themselves and to see that what they are doing is wrong, they are going to be offended and they are going to retaliate verbally to kill that type of information, to literally put out, the type of statement that would influence others to think that these revelations of hell are not true and are not real. But I believe these revelations, and I believe that many of these people are telling the truth, and they are literally explaining, or they have been explaining their side of their personal experience during their time of these revelations. And it is a privilege to have access to these type of information, these type of testimonies. Okay, I believe it's a wake up call for people to really stop and consider the life that they are living and consider the reality of the existence of God, the existence of heaven, and the existence of hell. It doesn't matter what people think, we cannot change hell. We cannot change heaven. We cannot change the fact that there is a God. And as there is a God, then the God that there is must be a God of rules. Because God is a God of order. God is a God of order. And if there is order, there must be an establishment of rules. And people do not like to follow rules because rules, right? rules or laws, right, create a system which in which people have to live in order. And once there is order, you're gonna have what you call a reasonable society, a peaceful society, and things could go the way they're supposed to. That's what laws do. It brings people into a system of order, and with order, you're going to have security and things of that nature. And people, so a lot of people don't like to be told and they don't like to follow rules. They prefer to live lawlessly. And so people with the mindset of wanting to live lawlessly are the same people that's going to speak negatively against these type of testimonies. But these testimonies are available on YouTube, and these are testimonies that are being experienced by people from different part of the world, like I said previously. And so it is impossible for these people to really come up with these type of thing as an invention or as a way to create something to scare people, because the Bible talks about hell. There are not much details of hell in the Bible, but when you listen to these people testimony, you could literally relate. You could relate to what is being written in the Bible. The Bible said in Mark 9:47-48, it is a place where the fire never stop burns and the worms don't die. Many people have said, many of these people who give their testimonies have said that people end up in hell because of evil thoughts, because of stealing tithes, and because of fornication, and because of many different things. And it's good to know these things, because a lot of things people are taken for granted and are considered to be harmless, not that bad. Like, for example, you have sexy dressing. Sexy dressing is highly respected, highly desired, highly admired in this world. This is something that people do not have a problem with, right? It is, it literally is um, everywhere. In any culture you go, except those Arab countries where the women are completely covered. But in the Western world and many parts of the world, women are prone to be sexy. And this is something about women, but it is ungodly and it is demonic. And it is being said in some of these testimonies that women end up there because of sexy dressing. And some people would say, nah, that doesn't make any sense. But it makes sense, because the Bible says if a man look at a woman to lust at her, he has already committed adultery in his heart. And the only thing that you could literally, the only thing that often provoke a man to lust is sexy apparel, sexy clothing, both man and woman. That's the only thing that triggers a person to lust. And so it is only relevant, and it make a lot of sense, and it relate to what is said in the Bible. Then you have testimonies of people stating that people end up in hell because of um not forgiving someone else, or a family member of the church, or so be the case. And it makes sense, because the Bible said that if you come to the altar, if you have a problem with a brother, you go and make peace with the brother, because you cannot receive forgiveness if you have unforgiveness in your heart. And it makes sense. It relates to what is said in the Bible. And many of these things that are said in these testimonies, these hell testimonies, relate to what is written in the Bible. And so you have people of different religion would completely ignore these type of testimonies, like people of maybe the watchtower religion. Maybe there are certain religion that don't believe hell as, you're gonna go there if you die. Some religion don't believe that. Okay, but if you look at the rich man's story in Luke chapter 16, you would see that that this story, okay, is a story that many have claimed to be a parable, but it's not a parable. It is not a parable. It is a literal direct experience and something that had happened. Okay, and Jesus spoke about it. Okay, because the word was was is a verb. Okay, is an auxiliary verb, and it refers to the past. There was a rich man. There was a rich man. If Jesus made is the one who told that story, then it must be true. It didn't say the kingdom of heaven. When you speak a parable, you say the kingdom of heaven is like unto. So it's giving a reference or an example of what heaven could be like. But when the story of the rich man and the poor man was being told by Jesus Christ, he didn't say it that way. He said there was a rich man and a poor man. But anyhow, what I'm saying is people are going to do whatever it takes to ignore these type of stories, these type of testimonies of hell. Because what happened is, if they really dig down deep and really consider these testimonies, it is going to bring them into conviction, meaning they are going to be reflecting and realizing that what they are doing is wrong. And if they like what they are doing, they do not want to be reminded of their wrong. They do not want to reflect or want to be told. They don't want to get to that point of realizing and knowing that they are living a wicked life. So to avoid all that conviction, they prefer to say that these people are lying and they only invent these testimonies to scare people away. So what I find really abnormal is that these testimonies are available on social media and they are still not taken seriously. Like there are some serious testimonies on YouTube. There are some serious testimonies on YouTube about hell. And I find that they should be taken seriously because they are very, very frightening. And I'm not saying frightening in a negative way, but frightening in a way that would make anybody, that should make any person really consider this life. Like this life is so serious. It is very serious, but people don't really take life serious until something bad happens. Until that something bad happen moment, life don't always be taken serious. And that is sad. It is terrible. So what I'm saying is, um, people should really consider these things. Grown folks have literally gone in the 700 Club and on many international television broadcast station and talk about their testimonies, especially the man who have had an experience of being in hell for 23 minutes. 23 minutes. The man literally, why would the man lie? Why would he come up with this thing and lie? Why would he quit his job? He literally was working as a real estate agent and he said he was making a lot of money, but he said he literally quit his job to dedicate his life to preach this experience of 23 minutes in hell. And it's a very popular story. He literally give in details what he went through during that 23 minutes in hell. He give details and he literally has scriptures to back up what he saw. But yet what I find strange is that people are not shaken by these testimonies. And I'm not saying that they are not. There are those who have literally changed their lives because of seeing these type of testimonies. I believe Christians have gone back to God because of seeing these type of testimonies. But because we are in a generation of advanced technology and information is easily accessible, there should be more than what has already been touched. There should be a lot more people because we are not in the 80s. In the 80s, you did not have information, or you did not have access to information as you do have today. Today, if something happened in Japan, a person like in Australia could get that information in seconds because we have WhatsApp, we have Facebook, and we have so many other social media technologies out there. But I guess that's just the way it is sometimes. Like people don't really want, so a lot of people don't really want to get into this Bible thing because they're busy living a devil life. They are living a life of evil. And evil in this world is often followed by pleasure. And pleasure is a very powerful thing. You have good pleasure and bad pleasure. But most people are adhered to bad pleasure. And bad pleasure, okay, is fornication, smoking cigarette, drinking alcohol, for masturbation, witchcraft, what else? Thief, stealing, political corruption, and the list goes on. All these are bad pleasure, but you know there are ways that like money laundering is a bad pleasure. You know what I'm saying? So the pleasure that is attached to these wicked deeds is the reason why many are not going to want to change. They are not going to want to let go because it is irresistible. A lot of people literally have gotten rich through stealing from society, stealing from the tax department, stealing from their company, or that from a company, the company which they work for, and so many different things. And if a person is getting rich off of stealing, you think he's going to want to stop and live right? So a lot of people are tied up in these type of activities and deeds, and they're not going to want to listen to the truth because the truth is going to expose them, and people don't like to be exposed. But when you look at life, the seriousness of life is that you could die at any given moment, and this is why life should be taken seriously. This is why people should consider God, because the Bible talks clearly about what God likes and what God does not like, and there are geographical places on planet Earth that corroborates with the Bible. Like you have Jerusalem, the place where Jesus was buried, and the place where he was crucified, and they have different Mount Sinai and all these different places. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, what else does it take? What else does it have to be? What else does it have to take in order for people to really wake up? What would it take? I mean, how serious does it have to become in order for people to really take these things seriously? And what is so sickening is that the church community is almost acting like the world, where they are not taking these testimonies seriously. Like literally, like in my Christian walk, I would be like, kind of like drifting in a certain way. But from the moment I look at any one of these videos, I would stiffen myself back up. It would straighten me out and make me want to go again, walk right again, because these things are, man, scary. These things are scary. Like, for me, what risk would it be if a person believed that Jesus Christ exists and die knowing that he does not, or refuse to believe that he does not exist and die to see that he does exist? Like, if you die not believing in him, that means you're going to go to hell. Like, logically, wickedness must be punished. It is something that is logical. If somebody do something wrong, they should be punished for that. Because if there's no application of punishment, people don't really take a system seriously. That's why you have rules. That's why you have laws. Because the possibility of doing wrong exists. So therefore, there must be some form of punishment. But if there is no punishment, then why should a person take the society or the system seriously? Like if you kill somebody and you're not gonna go to jail, then why should the person be afraid to kill someone else? But because people know that jail is involved, and you could go to jail, or you could be sentenced to death row or whatever, the murderer, whoever is about to commit the crime, is going to reconsider. You understand? So why should God be any different in a sense? Why should God, like, what some people believe that God is so loving that he doesn't have any rules? Because once there are rules, then there must be two sides of it. If you go against rules, then there must be consequences. So why do people think that if they live wicked, they're still gonna meet right? Like some people believe that when you die, when a person dies, some people believe in reincarnation. Like literally believe that they're gonna come back as a butterfly or a bird or a rabbit or a pigeon or whatever. Why would human beings with such high capacity subside to the capacity of a butterfly? Like, why would a human being with so much capacity of mind power, mind intelligence, literally subside to the capacity of a butterfly? That don't make no sense. Like it doesn't add up. It doesn't really add up. But people would believe and settle for anything that would not provoke them to guilt. If something does not provoke a person who is living wicked to conviction, then he is going to, adhere to that thing. But if that thing provoke that person to conviction, he's not going to want to chill around that thing. He's not going to want to have anything to do with that thing, because that thing is going to make him feel guilty. Like, feeling guilty is not always wrong. It's not always bad. It's just a moment where a person suddenly realizes that what you are doing is wrong and it needs to be stopped. Because life was made to live a certain way, and people are living contrary to how life was designed to be. And whenever we go against the way life was designed to be, there are going to be consequences. But people don't want to consider the consequences. They just want to live like all is well. And whenever consequences come, it comes. But it shouldn't be that way. And that's why we suffer, because we don't consider the after effect or what could happen after. We just want to live anyhow, and then that's it. Like, people want to live anyhow, and they must not be told. No, you are going to be told. You are going to be, confronted with facts. You're going to be confronted with situations that are going to let you know that you are doing wrong and you should not do that, and you should do this because this is the way it's supposed to be. And so I just want to say that these testimonies should be taken seriously, because if you literally listen to 10 of these type of testimonies, man, it would really make you think. Like, man, like, if you were someone who did not believe in God or did not believe in hell or whatever, man, that's just nonsense, because there must be a God, because we could not have come here like out of the blues. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't get something so organized, like a body that it's full of cells and DNA that are in their places and well situated and well intact, and you know what I'm saying? You can't get this type of order biologically out of the blues. Anything that comes out of the blues, that means it was not premeditated. You gotta, get order through some form of premeditation. You gotta, think and analyze before you bring forth order. There must be some form of analyzation and some form of intelligence in order to put things in their right places. How do you explain that everything on planet Earth has DNA and cells and so on? You can't get these type of things and creation from out of the blues. Out of the blues would be, what would be out of the blues? What would be out of the blues? Oh my goodness. Uh, Let me see. An accident out of the blues, or a dog run across the street out of the blues, or a deer run across the street, or a shooting star just pitch out of the blues. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But those are out of the blues things, and out of the blues things are prone, to do destruction, because when something is out of the blues, that means it was not premeditated and analyzed. Because if you're going to cross a street, you're not going to cross the street out of the blues. You're going to analyze before you cross the street. What if there is oncoming traffic? What if while you are waiting, cars are coming? Are you going to cross the street out of the blues and get knocked down out of the blues? No. So there is a God. And if there is a God, there must be laws. And if there are laws, there are two sides of it. You have the side where you go against it. And if you go against it, you're going to have consequences. And the consequences, this is where hell comes in. Hell comes in because there are consequences. So it makes a lot of sense. And we have not gotten the intelligence to create a lost system out of the blues. We got that from our DNA. We got that from our spiritual, we got that from the creator. That's something that is in us. If you want to create a system of order, there must be laws. And so for me, hell makes sense. It makes sense because there are some people who are not going to want God. So why should you have those who don't want God and those who want God in the same heaven? That don't make no sense. If somebody doesn't want you, why should they be around? Why should you keep a person who don't want you around? If a person does not want a kiss, why should you kiss? If you go and you kiss somebody and they say no, why should you proceed to kiss? Or why should you insist to kiss if they don't want the kiss? If you give somebody $1 and they said, I don't want it, why should you insist to give $1? So if you don't want God, why should God let you into his kingdom? Therefore, God made a place for those who don't want him.